And yeah, we're good.
Okay, welcome back to part 2 of BSMA Motocross Memories rider interviews with the BSMA legend himself, Lee Ashby. Part 2, as I said, question number 13. What is your favourite BSMA rider memory? A race that you've raced in, a meeting, a particular meeting, or just a weekend in general? I'm sure there's probably a lot, but what one sticks in your mind as the most memorable?
Study with a legend bit as well. You'll have all the lads in the group giving me shit.
You pay the wages, so you know.
Yeah.
Who do I invoice for this, by the way?
Ashby Racing.
Okay.
No, actually, Hanson Racing.
Hanson Racing.
Okay. Yeah, my mate. No. Yeah, memory. Ooh. Weirdly, I'm actually forgetting my own questions. A memory of meeting. I did mention it.
I imagine the BSMA finals probably up there that you won it, but
yeah, it's probably there was a couple of races that are like still sticking in my memory now. One was at the finals. I pretty much sort of going into the last race of the weekend, sort of it looked in the bag. I remember, I can't remember if it was John Radford's mechanic who was racing me for the win, or Nelms. I think it might have been even Radford. Sort of cheekily suggested, am I going out in the last race? You know, doing that, you've already got it in the bag, are you going out? And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm going out, don't worry about that. And then literally, so everyone's thinking like top 5, all good, right? It goes out into the last race, makes another good start, pretty much in the top 3 in the first corner, all good. Someone gives it the big whiskey front brake job. Oh, I literally had nowhere to go. And I go straight into him, down real bad. Literally, because I'm a bit OCD, by the time I got away, got my clutch into the right position, body belt into the right position, I couldn't go off like all half-assed. I had to go proper. Everyone was gone. But I remember it so well, because I remember like Liddington's old man commentary. You could hear it clear as day. And he's giving it all the, Ashby's coming through the pack and all that, and he's got to get to X, Y, and Z position to win it, and all this. So I am going like big style, and I was buzzing off of it. Obviously, it's like when you're a bit angry when you fell off or whatever you've done. And I was literally like on a buzz. I was passing everyone everywhere, jumping past people, doing the whole works, especially early when everyone's bunched up together. And then I literally got through to 5th, I think it was, from last, which is pretty cool, especially the finals, because obviously we know that's hard.
Yeah.
And he literally sort of almost killed the moment by sort of saying that I'd got one position short for winning it. So it was like a big anti-climax, like everyone come into me in the pit lane afterwards doing that, like, oh my God, bud, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, you're that one place short and all that from the back and all that. So I'm like, fucking hell, you're having a laugh. Fuming, goes back. Of course, everyone's working out points. My mum, my auntie, they're all like working out these points and all that. And I didn't even think anything of it at the time. And I went literally, this is a true story as well. I went to the lap scoring van just to go and have a rough random look to see what was going on. And I actually like looked and then seen and then went back to the van. They were like, you've won it overall. And I was like, I know, I've just looked at the lap scoring van and it says I'm first. I won it by 2 points. And I was like, after all that, like, oh, this big anti-climax at the end to like, you've won it. I was like, so that was one. And then there was one other, when I first ever went up into the seniors, it was literally, I'd just gone up. I think I might have even been early onto a 125. And I was at Bushton, which is I think they run it now as well in the AMCA, which is like Bassett, Swindon way.
Yeah.
And they mixed the seniors and experts together. So not only had I only just got onto a 125, so I was like literally raw into the seniors, they mixed them with the experts. So all of a sudden, I was in there with like all these guys that I'd looked up to when I was in the 100s and 80s first starting out. There's Christian Dukes, Simon Deering on a Husky I used to look up to as well. All these guys in the experts, and I'm thinking, shit, like I literally did on the start line. I normally always like at the front, near at the front at the start. really good reaction time. No rolling, no nothing. Clean reactions. And literally made a shit start every race just on the basis that I was doing that. Oh my God, I'm on the line with so and so, so and so, so and so. And I literally, every race, passed all of them from the back. Every race, I literally made a crap start, passed all of them, bar Christian Duke, who was already gone every time I got there. And especially Simon Deering, I think I passed him on the last lap of every race. Sorry, Simon. But yeah, that was pretty cool to go up into the seniors first time, mixed in with the experts, beat all of them bar Christian Duke every race. And it was like, that was sick.
Yeah. Did you used to get nervous before races, or was it? I mean, I guess the situation here was that you were moving up to a class, but it was effectively two classes. But did you find sort of nerves played a part pre-race, or?
Generally, I didn't. Over the years, obviously you get a little bit more nerves, bigger events, sort of maybe pre-meeting, but I used to just ride. The way I did it, I rode practice flat out because everyone's got their own ways, but I rode practice flat out, got a bit of arm pump and a little bit tight, in that regard, and then I found that worked for me, and then I was all right for racing. But, yeah, I didn't really have nerves like that. Maybe bigger meetings, a little bit more nerves, but not, to the point it was affecting anything or anything. Good nerves, I'd call them.
You need nerves to sort of be focused, really, don't you?
Yeah.
Butterflies and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Question 14: who were your best friends during your BSMA days, and do you still keep in contact now?
Best friends. I didn't actually mention him in my rivals as well at club level. Dean Woodford from Poole area. Okay. He was a good rider, and I know after I'd finished racing, he went on and won a BSMA final a couple of years later. So that was good to see. He was a good rider. He was one of my mates. I went and even had a couple of holidays down there as well when we were still racing, because he lived down like Poole, Bournemouth way. Went to Poole Speedway, and then when Mark Loran was there.
Good old Mark Loran. When he
won the title, around that sort of time, in the late 90s. And so, he was a really good mate. I haven't really spoken to him. I tried to get hold of him for the interview, but he's not answering. Dino. Get back at me, Dino. You're mugging me clean off. Dean, Kevin Hunt.
Some mate, some mate.
Yeah, some mate. Yeah, he's mugging me clean off. Yeah, and Kevin Hunt lives in Swindon. We were sort of, a few Swindon guys were me, Kevin Hunt. I got on with him, raced with him from an early age. I had a bit of rivalry when we first started racing, and that was good. Also Matty Palmer used to be number 22. It was just to have like the Fox gear on, ride Hondas, and used to jump big and everything. He was quite cool with the jumping and everything. My girlfriend at the time used to live by him in Wootton-under-Edge, where Brian Wheeler lives. And so I was obviously friendly with him. Sometimes we'd go there sort of halfway through a 2-day and go down to his house and clean my bike and stuff like that at his house and stuff. So he was a good friend as well.
Oh, good. And you still keep in contact with Kevin and all that now?
I've literally sort of been in contact with Matty a little bit through Twitter. He's actually messaged me before I come on here and goes, I haven't been on Twitter for a while, and he's messaged me saying you ain't got me on your interview, so obviously they're going to sort that out. But Kevin, I pretty much speak to on WhatsApp quite a bit. He'll probably be messaging me right now, mugging me off or something. I can't even say the word that we use to each other. Might be beginning with C.
Clever.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Charismatic, I think it was.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Question 15. It's a big one. It's one that I think, as an ex-racer, it's probably the biggest thing that you sort of talk about with your friends and family. What do you miss most about your BSMA racing days?
Winning. Obviously, I miss obviously being with my dad. The special relationship we had doing that, going away together all the time. 2-day meetings, the preparation that goes into that, and obviously all the aftermath of it all as well. The going home together with my dad, buzzing with good results. He was very, very laid back and never pressured me in any way at all. But so when he would talk good about me in the van on the way home, that was special for me. Say stuff like that, coming away from a special meeting, that was special, really. I do miss that.
Do you feel, did your dad play a very big role in how you would race throughout your years? I mean, obviously he was a well-known speedway racer and competed at a good level. Did you sort of aspire to be like him and, thrive on the words that he sort of would tell you and whatnot?
I've just thought of something else as well to do with like a little routine that he used to give me this little ass tap thing as I went off. When you walk off with your bike to go to the start, he'd give me this little assurance pat on the ass thing. Just little things like that. And but yeah, with him, like I said, he was, especially the early years when I would be like doing my paper round before I went to motocross and stuff, and I'd be like waiting for him to get up and stuff, trying to make him 10 cups of tea before he moved. And all this, and I'm like, I want to walk the track and that, and I have to get there, sign in, and literally go straight out for practice without walking tracks. The amount of times, because of him, I used to literally go to a meeting, people wouldn't be shocked. Even in the 125s, like seniors, even experts, would get there so late, where Dad has to have 100 cups of tea before we leave. I would get there, like not walk the track, and I was literally be flat out blind, because I have to go flat out even in practice. So I'm literally going, like, if they put something new in or done something new, I ain't got an absolute Scooby-Doo. I'm just doing it on instinct.
Hitting that double flat out.
Yeah, so I would obviously get quite angry with him later on doing that. Listen, like, I'm older now. I need to go and walk the track.
Yeah.
It's freaking me out now. So he got a little bit better. But, I mean, yeah, he was so laid back. He was none of this dad, like, on the sideline giving it all that. And
yeah. So did your brother sort of continue to go to the racing after he stopped, or was it a family affair? Did you miss that sort of element of it? Because I think a lot of racers that have stopped, one of the things that they miss is that family time, that sort of unity of we all lead such busy lives in this day and age, that it was a time where you were engulfed in motocross, but you all did it together, and it was that sort of real feel of a family unit. I mean, did your brother keep involved even when he stopped racing?
Yeah, he would normally nick my car for the weekend when I'm gone away or something like that. Stuff like that. But he used to come. He come like to say places like Canada Heights. He brought a mate and would come with us. A few places like that. Fighting, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. They all finals or that, don't they? All of a sudden, you've gone from like 2 or 3 to like 15 family members for BSMA finals. It's like, shit, what's happening then? Is there something important going on? Is there?
The Lee Ashby fan club.
Yeah. Always got a chance of winning this, all turn up. No, I'm joking.
Good.
Yeah, family thing is obviously important. My brother used to come out when he could, and if he wouldn't nick my car,
was there a competitive nature between you and your brother? Did you have practice together? I know you're a few years different and whatnot, but did that rivalry, sort of sibling rivalry, sort of filter through? And I mean, you obviously were on different bikes and whatnot, but did you enjoy practicing against him and him over?
I still wind him up about it now, because obviously I think I might have even told you the story about that, where my cousin Jonathan was in the experts. I think I was in the 100s and my brother was in the 60s at Morden, and we all won our own class in one day. So it was like 3 Ashbys out of the 5 groups at one. That was pretty cool. That's probably a memory thing as well, I don't forget. But Jamie, we got to race each other because he did, I think, a year or 2 in the 60s, and then he did 1 year in the 80s. So he did only 3 years. But when he went in the 80s, they mixed him in with the 100s a couple of times. So obviously I was like flying in the last year of the 100s, and he was in the 80s. And there was a home video of there used to be a supercross track in Swindon called Rawton. I've got a few paper cuttings and stuff from that and stuff still now. And it's got him clean on this home camera. He's like, oh yeah, I beat you out the start. He was rolling for about 2 miles, and he had an elastic gate at mid Wilkes, and he literally he was gone. Like, he was about 3rd gear when everyone started. So of course he's giving it all this big one. Yeah, I made the gate. And then I goes, yeah. Now tell everyone the rest of the story. Yeah, so he goes around the first corner, giving it the big bollocks. I come round the corner. I went past him so fast. He did the old
Yeah,
Oh,
tank
yeah,
mob.
the old head shake, and I lapped him probably about 2 or 3 times around that Supercross track, and then yeah. So, but he was a good rider in the '60s, and that was only his first year in the '80s, and obviously I was winning regularly in my last year hundreds. I was like a top decent national rider by then, so
Yeah,
he was never gonna do anything against me then. But yeah, he won races in the '60s. He was good. He was a good rider.
good. Do you have any regrets from your BSMA days? Are there any sort of meetings that you feel you should have won or done better? Maybe something that the race that got away from you, or riding a certain bike, or a particular season that you wish you hadn't done. I mean, I think we've sort of gathered from the conversation to now that there's probably a few things, but if you could elaborate on a couple of specifics, that would be great.
On bikes, definitely regret '95 Honda. It was absolute horse. My dad even put an Olin shock on his credit card as well to try and make it better, but it was the forks really. But he'd already splashed out massively on the old credit card for an Olin shock, and it turned out it was basically all about the forks. So that was not a good season. I don't think I've ever crashed as much before or after, and that's how I hurt my back originally as well. So I ended up having a back op after the motocross because of that.
So what happened with the back injury? Because I know that you suffered quite badly with it, but what led to getting that back injury initially?
There was a tabletop at North Wraxall, the big one that they put in down the bottom at the far side. And I had watched a bit of a video the night before, a bit of McGrath doing his getting wheeling into the face and keeping it low and all that. So I thought, yeah, I'll try that in the first lap of practice today. And I wheeled into it, and that Honda was minging anyway. So it wasn't the best of ideas on that bike. And I sort of literally didn't quite do it right. And I literally did the old like that, and literally it was like endoing right across the tabletop, clean off the bike. And I literally landed on my backside on the downside, which sounds all good. And I thought, that's not too bad. And then I heard obviously all the revs from behind me, looked round, and I think there was Matty Palmer, a lad on a Kawasaki, and maybe someone else as well. And they all literally ploughed me on the downside. And I had a brand new helmet that I'd been waiting for about 3 weeks to match up with my Honda, one of those Premier helmets with the old checker flag on the side, yeah. And the first thing I said to my dad, when they all come over, because I was literally mangled up massively, bad.
Yeah.
This is how bad I am with my stuff. My dad literally said to me, "Oh my God," he's like, "You're all right." Well, everyone's mangled. And I'm like, first thing, I was wrecked. My back was stoved in. I was literally wrecked. And the first thing I said to him was, "Have I scratched my new helmet?" He's like, "Piss off about your helmet." He goes, "Are you all right?" I goes, "I don't know. I can't feel nothing. I'm wrecked."
Jesus.
Yeah, I was in a bad way.
So how long were you out for with that?
I was out for a few weeks. I didn't race from that day until I had to wait until I literally raced the BSMA semi-final at Marshfield. I was out for quite a long time, and I went to a chiropractor thing, and my mum said, "Look, if he says it's no good, you won't be riding." So I'm thinking, Jesus. And I went in there, and he said, I should be all right, depending on pain and all that at the time and stuff, because it was a lot of nerve thing and all that as well, which you can't do too much with.
No.
And I literally hadn't rode for 4 or 5 weeks, went into the semi-final. I think I come second or third, just got through really. But yeah, it wasn't good. And then obviously it come back.
It was 95, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was quite tacky.
Semi-finals, yeah.
Yeah. You remember that?
I do, yeah. I think actually that's I enjoyed that weekend. That was a good weekend. There was, again, the semi-finals. That Morden semi-final, the sort of the group that the Morden got put with, was always a tough semi-final, wasn't it? There's some good riders in that.
Yeah, it was always stacked. Normally had Somerset, and yeah, we always had a good semi-final, wasn't it? So I was pleased to just get there, managed to ride. This is quite funny, I'll tell you now, because obviously it doesn't matter. But at the time, I'd been off work for 3 or 4 weeks, literally not been at work, where I was in a bad way, roast that meeting. And then we're still off work because I was still wrecked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, straight up.
Jeez.
Didn't go for work for another couple of weeks after that. I think I didn't ride again for another few weeks.
Yeah.
But then it was obviously something that was always there then, even though I
Yeah.
was a fit lad and really fit at the time, right until I finished. Even at the end, I had a couple of back things was getting worse. And then obviously I went back to football, and then it ended up totally going, and it took sort of best part of a year to manage to get an operation and all that as well. So that wasn't cool, and it's still wrecked now, to be honest.
So is there any meetings off the top of your head that you sort of wish maybe you could have had again, and maybe got back a race that you should have possibly won and didn't? Is there anything that really sticks in your mind? Maybe one of the BSMA finals where you came third.
Yeah, definitely. All them ones. I think if I could, obviously everyone's going to say that with certain things, but if I'd have had a bit more luck go my way a few times, I could have potentially have won 4 on a trot. 97 to 2000. I think 97 was the one Chris Hamill won. Fair play, he went really well, and Cole Bowfield I think was second. I ended up third overall, but how I ended up third overall I don't know. Like, I literally, that was the time when I come in after the first race at Maysmore, because obviously I love Maysmore, so it was all good. Bike was good, and then I come in after the first race, and I was like, I was supposed to challenge for the win, and I come in like 6th or 7th, trying my nut holes off, and the bike was flat as a pancake. I came in, I was like, man, the bike's shit. And he was like, so he started digging in, he even went into the barrel and everything. He's like, there's chrome coming off the barrel and everything. I'm like, literally like, well, I'm an emotional person anyway. I was probably like half crying at the time. It's BSMA finals, and you're like, bike season. I never had 2 bikes or anything like that. I could jump on or anything. So we did that. Do we risk it? Do we just go out there, obviously knowing it could seize any time? And Maysmore, some big jumps and fast downhills and whatever. Obviously, it was a BSMA final, so we risked it. Ended up getting through the day sort of half okay, really, considering like it was literally like no power to a degree, nothing like it was. And then we went. So we had to go straight from Maysmore to the Chippenham shop, that sponsored me. Got another bike. He goes, you can use another bike. Of course, I'm fussy, so I was like, there's no way I'm riding another bike. So Dad had to take that bike and my bike home, take the engine out of the other bike, put it into my bike all night long, and then get back to Maysmore for Sunday morning. Of course, the bike was how I wanted it in the first place. I had a really good second day, battling for the win all day, and then ended up third overall. But I would have definitely challenged. Fair play to Chris Hamill, he won. He rode really well. Same with Bowfield, but I definitely would have challenged for the win if I would have, if the bike would have been just normal.
Yeah.
For the whole weekend. So that was one. Obviously, then I won 98. 99 was at Culham. I'd literally rode the Honda for a couple of weeks when I got rid of the TM. So obviously that was a regret. The TM, you won the finals. You're on Suzuki. I would love to have stayed on a Suzuki. Massive regret to go to the TM. Because obviously it looks the nuts. You got, pipes on it, Olin shocks on it, XL rims. It looks mint and all that, but I just couldn't get on with it. Like, the clutch was so stiff. Hardly changed gear very well. It was quick, but it didn't handle that good. We got this vibration through the bars we couldn't get rid of. We tried everything. I tried pro tapers, Rempforce, tried everything. It was something through the engine that everything vibrated so much. So then all of a sudden I had arm pump all the time, and I was like hanging on for dear life. Couldn't get on with it at all. Took it back. Was pretty much going to give up. And then Adam Chatfield's dad, thank God, stepped in, got me a new Honda. We literally went over a local field near us, ran it in. And then pretty much a couple of weeks later, went to the final at Cullen's, pretty unprepared, to be fair. You didn't really do a lot to the bike in that time. If you can still see the pictures now, I had a standard pipe on, everything. It was pretty much basic. And battled with Matty Gardner pretty much all weekend, had a couple of race wins. So another one, again, close. Ended up third overall. That was annoying. And then the last final started off with a win. And like I said, I had two races that I got wiped out near the start of the race. It absolutely killed me. Mashed my bike up as well, which I was fuming. So there's like 3 massive regrets there, to be fair. I could have had a great chance on 4, really.
Yeah, it's certainly unfortunate, but at least you got the one.
Yeah, exactly. Rather have one than none.
That's it. Right. Question number 17. Now, there's a lot of people that haven't sort of really answered this question, but we're expecting something big from yourself. I'm sure you've got many stories, but number 17, tell us a funny story from your BSMA days.
Right, that's the only one I've got notes from, because I knew I'd forget. I've got some that probably shouldn't be said.
As I say, just remember there are children, wives, and, mothers, and grandmas that listen to these interviews.
Hence I'm telling these ones. So I got three, but one of them was a quick one. Was on the way home in the van once. There was something wrong with the van, so there was something wrong with the radiator. I think the radiator was losing water or something, because it was like steaming and everything. And I think me, my brother, and my dad were in the van, and he was like, "What are we going to do? What water have we got? We had no water or anything." So we all ended up peeing in some bottles, put that in the radiator. Oh my god, I sound minging. But yeah, we all did that, and it literally, no word of a lie. Oh my god, the smell. Wow. So yeah, but we literally got home like that as well. So the pee between the three of us got us home.
A bit of a pisser then, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. We were really pissed off. I've got two others. One was, I'll tell that one. BSMA semi-finals, 98, North Wrexham. I actually won. It was the best 3 out of 4 races to qualify, so which was quite good, because you got that thing to fall back on. But
yeah.
So story was, I won all 3 races. It's the only time in my race thing that I've never went out for the last race. So I did that. I've won 3. I can't do any better. I'm not going out for the last one. I'd never do that ever. I didn't do it before and I didn't do it after. But there was a reason. Stuart Rawlins. He was the only rider that I was actually scared of, like genuinely scared of. He was a great rider. And obviously, like I said, when I first started, he was lapping me. And I was like, but they were like, had a reputation, let's say. And he come from Swindon. His old man, I remember getting banned a couple of times. I think that was something to do with fighting or something. So obviously, Stuart used to remind me of like Desperate Dan out of the Beano on a bike. Like he was like
old boy.
Yeah, he was hench. He just looked like a pit bull on a bike. He had style as well. Do you know what I mean? But he was just so, I don't know. He was the only one I was scared of anyway. So
yeah.
So we started this race, went in around the first corner. Go around the next bit, and there's a little bit of a straight before right-hander. I'm on the right, he's on the left. We're like that, arm to arm, like that, side by side. So we're like, like that, and he's like touching me, right? So we're touching arms, and I'm thinking there's one person I don't want to be touching arms with, is him. Right? So I'm like doing that, and I literally, no word of a lie, didn't even move hardly like a couple of millimeters to his side to sort of like, just get him off me a little bit. And then I thought, oh my God, I literally looked to the left like that, no word of a lie. He was going like that, over the bars, and I'm thinking, you're joking. Like I've just knocked Van Diesel off his bike. Oh my God, honestly, I was like, oh my God. The whole race I was winning, because I had another close rival that day, was John Radford, who was always really good.
He didn't do a dobby, did he, and cut through the old track?
No. I would expect something like that from him. Do you know what I mean? Like I literally, the whole race, no word of a lie, I was shitting myself the whole race, winning, doing that. I hope my dad's at the end of that pit lane when we finish this race. I'll kill him. And I literally come round near the end, and when I finish, I'm sort of like doing this looking over thing. When I come round the end of it, did that lap of honour thing, I'm coming over and I see my dad in the pit lane. I think, thanks. If he's there or not, dad's there, we're all good. So I gets there, no sign of Rawlins. Speaks to dad, and he goes, what happened then? I said, I hardly moved, like knocked him off. And obviously I did that shit to Stuart Rawlins. He's going like, yeah, I've seen them all. They're all sound. They know you didn't do it on purpose, so it's all good. So I'm thinking, sweet.
Yeah.
First race of the weekend, first race of the day, sweet. Rest of the meeting to be sound. Goes out in the second race. So I'm thinking Stuart Rawlins is all sound, and like trying to give him the thumbs up and the peg area and that, and he's not really reacting. I'm thinking, don't seem to. Trying to get some reassurance. Gets out there, he gates in front of me. So I'm like trying to pass him. He's in front, I'm passing him. I think I've got Radford up my ass pushing me as well. And I'm trying to get by him, and no word of a lie, he is like, even over the jumps, I'm getting close to him on jumps and drop-offs and all that. There was a couple of drop-offs, I'm getting close to him, and he's like kicking his back end out at me off these jumps and everything. I'm thinking, are you shitting me? He don't look like he's over this, like he's trying to kill me. So, and obviously I did the mintest pass of all time. So going down one of the hills, so I thought, I'm selling him this dummy all day long. I'm going to give him the Martin Laram cut back here. So I'm going down this hill, and then used to go in there a little banked up, didn't it, and then go back up the hill again. So I've gone down the outside. I know as soon as he sees me, he's going to try and take me out. So I goes down the outside of him real quick, down this hill. Of course, sees me out the corner of my eye. First thing he's going to do, he tries to stuff me at the berm. But I brake checked, cut back up the inside and did the whole Laramski cut back. And I even had the cheek to look back at him as I passed him and went up the hill. But it was probably more, it wasn't really a cocky thing. It was more of a, I was just shit myself and I literally went and just checked out. I was like, literally like a scared cat. I literally just checked out, get out of there. And I literally won the last. Yeah, I won the third race. And then I literally thought, I've got away with it here. I'm not going out in the last one because he's still going to try and kill me. And straight up, I went out, watched the last race. And what did he do? He took out Radford in the last race.
Oh, really? So what you're saying to us is you bottled it then, basically?
Well, if winning's bottling, then yeah, I bottled it. And then the last one I had, this is a good one. It's funny. Doesn't come across well, but it is funny. So the last ever BSMA finals I did in 2000. Obviously, I told you that I was a bit pissed. I twice got wiped out at the start. Some kiddie T-boned me and literally mashed my bike up in one race, so that was a bad one. But we went out in the last race of the weekend, right? So I know that Carrington, who ended up winning it, and Gareth Davis, he was a good rider as well. I knew that they were battling for the win still, and I knew I couldn't get the win. I didn't even know where I was overall. I ended up third overall, but I didn't even know if I was even in contention for that. It was that bad in the end, because it started off with a win, so it was all good at the time. And basically, it come down to the last couple of laps. Carrington's in front. It's like Church Lentz is like rock hard, like Fox Hill in the end, but it started spitting with rain, so the track was quite bad. It's getting quite slippery. Carrington's out in front. I'm sort of quite a bit behind him, so he's sort of gone. And Davis needs to get by me to get with Carrington to try and battle out for the win. I'm pissed off anyway, and probably not even that interested by that point. But anyway, I'm second. We come round, and he puts the last lap flag out. And there's a couple of tiny little stop chicanes before the tabletop there.
Yeah.
And all I heard was Davis right behind me going, "Get the fuck out of the way."
Really?
Yeah. Straight away, I was like fuming. He's like shouting at me, like he's been being lapped 2 times or something. He's like, "Get the fuck out of the way," like you're backmarking or something. So I'm fuming straight away. I'm thinking he can't be shouting at me. So he's shouting at me. So I'm thinking this last lap, I'm thinking there's no chance. I know he needs to get by me to race with Carrington for the win. So I know why he's shouting, but obviously I wouldn't have that. So I'm like, there's no chance he's going by me at all. So I held him off the whole rate, the whole last lap. But when we come round to the thing, so obviously I'm thinking checker flag.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell the flag bloke was doing, but he was doing that, like that in between thing, and he was doing that like, "Oh, carry on. I'm doing. It's another lap, like." So I'm sort of done that like slowed down thing. Of course, Gareth Davis passes me, and I look back and I'm doing that. What? It's like that's it, isn't it? And then he's like doing that like carry on now. Oh my god.
Double yellow. Double last lap.
He's done a double yellow on me. So not only has he been shouting at me to get the fuck out of the way, now he's gone by me and I've got mugged off by the flag man. So we had to do another lap. So I've come round. By this time, I'm fuming. They've all gone down in the pit lane. They're all like congratulating each other and doing this and that. And I literally, my mate was waiting down the end of the pit lane for me, like to take my bike and stuff. And I come down the pit lane and I come towards them. And I literally come down there, started like speeding up a little bit and just literally ghosted my bike clean into him. Just jumped off the back of the bike and just ghosted the bike clean into him.
Animal.
That's the first time I've done that as well, because like normally I'd be so OCD, I'd be like, I ain't scratching my numbers on my bike or anything, do you know what I mean? But I was literally so fuming for the weekend because I thought I was going to have a chance for the win and it all went tits up. Then fuming that he's told me to get the fuck out of the way like I'm a back marker or something. Then double fuming when the bloke pisses around with the flags or whatever and done what he did as well. That was it then. That was me gone. Like, yeah, so then it got into a thing and I tried to fight with him and all that. And and then, all the dads and all that were there, and matey from BSMA was giving all that. And then he was doing all that, if you're going to fight with anyone, you'll have to get through me first. And I was like, all right then.
One of them, was it?
Yeah, it was bad.
That's, certainly interesting. question number 18. Tell us what you were known for in your style of racing stroke riding. If you can only use 3 words to sum up your style, you know, if you had a particular way or whatever, what would the 3 words be that summarises you as a motocrosser the best?
When you actually see people doing it, they always do that. This is what I think, but you do feel a dick doing it, don't you? But I'll be honest anyway. I would say smooth.
I think that's the most popular answer, isn't it, smooth?
Yeah, but I mean it.
Yeah.
Some of them have said smooth. I'm thinking, are you fucking sure?
To be fair, you were smooth. I'll give you that one.
Yes, mate. Yeah, I definitely was smooth. Stylish.
Mike Wood would say otherwise.
Yeah. Stylish, and I'd say fast.
Yeah, I think they're fair comments.
Mm.
I suppose OCD can't be used, can it?
No, let's put that in there instead. Can I put banana in there?
Yeah. What were your strengths as a motocross racer, and the opposite of that? What would you say your biggest weaknesses were?
Strengths, I was always quick out the gate, but then I wasn't one-dimensional. I've hit gates before at Morden and still won a race, so I could come from the back and pass everything. But I would say a definite strength is gates. I had a very good reaction time, so I was always good out of the gate. That was definitely a strength. Smooth.
Do you think
always
that's
good lines.
The Speedway mentality, being quick off the gate, or?
It would have definitely suited Speedway. It's a massive thing with a 4-lap race of only 60 odd seconds. A gating's probably the 80-90% of it. That's why I think it would have suited me so well, you know. But I think, definitely starts. I would always find good lines as well. I'd always race my own lines a lot. I think I was very, very good at race with berms.
Yeah.
Very good with berms. I loved that. That was my favourite thing, really. I preferred berms and jumps, to be honest.
Yeah.
Love a good berm. Didn't particularly like ruts, so I would say probably a weakness, if you want to. I didn't really like ruts that much. So when tracks were really, really rutty with massive ruts, you know, like 2 legs up in the air jobs, didn't really like that. And like I said, I didn't really ever race sand. I wouldn't even class Culham as much of a sand track. Chippenham, a bit sandy, but I was not a Hawkstone. I never rode at Hawkstone of him, but I would have said really rough tracks I didn't particularly like.
Yeah. I
know it's not a manly thing to say. I've heard some of the riders, you know, they do that. Yeah, it was real, when it gets real rough and all that, I love it. But I preferred tracks that I could find smooth lines on. I was always looking for a smooth line, to the point I would break fingers regularly and things like that on posts, where I was always going down the side of a track somewhere or something, finding a smooth, cheeky line somewhere. I would find it. If there was one, I'd find it. But some tracks, like I said, they weren't there, so I didn't like them ones. Yeah, I'd probably say really rough tracks, and I didn't really like massive, horrible ruts much. But
fair enough. Shall we call that for part 2, and then we can finish off with part 3 and give the viewers an insight into more Lee Ashby?
Okay, cool.
Lovely.
No worries, cool.